Hi everybody, Alex Aploya from Expert Forex again, and this is video 3 in the series about the Forex Dream Machine. And now we're getting to the really interesting part where I'll show you how you can drive this Dream Machine EA. Now the most important thing about EAs is that you must understand they are your slaves. You are the master, they are the slaves. You have to tell the slave what you want it to do. The slave is only as good as what you tell it to do. It's not the other way around. A lot of people buy EAs and they regard the EA as their master. Anyway, let's move on to the input section of the Forex Dream Machine Expert Advisor. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the settings one by one and explain why they are there and why they are important. And it's very important that you understand these settings pretty well. Right, so let's start with the first one, notification time frames. You can tell the EA when you want notifications, in which time frames. Now, if you, for instance, set it to give you notifications in the 5-minute time frames, you're going to get, you've got to consider you're going to get potential notifications every 5 minutes. So you've got to consider how frequently you want to get these notifications. And that is why that setting is in place. It allows you to determine which time frames you're going to trade and how often you want to get the notifications. If you're sitting down for a scalping session and you're using the 5-minute charts, certainly set it to 5 minutes, run the EA, and for the 2 hours or 3 hours that you're trading, you can then set it for 5 minutes. But if you're trading long-term swing trading, that type of thing, you might only want to get notifications every 4 hours or even daily. So you then set it that way. So that's how you control the frequency of your notifications. And your alerts and notifications can take different formats. The first one is the alert notification. It's a type of pop-up that occurs on your screen. This condition has been met. So that's the first, and you can switch it on. You can use email notifications. So if you're out and about, the alert can be emailed to you when the conditions of entry are met. Or you can have push notifications. Those are messages that are sent to you, very similar to email notifications, but also that appear on your chart. Then you have sound notifications, which obviously by definition give off a sound when the conditions are met. And then furthermore, you can actually determine your own sound that you want. So that's how you control your alerts. Furthermore, you can determine which times of the day you want the alerts to happen. So let's say you sleep from 11 o'clock in the evening till 7 o'clock in the morning. You certainly don't want the alerts to wake you up all the time. So you can set the times when the alerts will occur. So we've put a lot of thought into the alert side of this EA and made it as user-friendly as possible. And you can control it from these input areas. Then comes the trading part, where you want the EA to trade for you. And we've also been fairly creative in this particular area in that we've created 9 fixed settings that you can apply to this EA. And there's another 10th option, and the 10th option is basically you can determine your own settings. So besides determining your own settings, we have given 10 preset settings, and they are not in the form of set files. They don't have to be re-optimized. They are hard-coded into this EA, and I'll show you how this works. So the time frame setting is one where you can choose to try the 15-minute, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. So we're not recommending the 5-minute trading at all. We know from experience that 5 minutes is totally inaccurate, but the 15-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour time frames are. So you've got a choice. So there's a choice of 3 time frames. to choose from, or you have a choice no entry on any time frame. In other words, if you want to switch the automatic trading off, that's the one you select. So if you select that, no trading will occur. If you select any of the other time frames, then trading will occur only in that particular time frame. You cannot trade more than one time frame at a time. Reason being, your stops and targets must be different for every time frame. So you can only trade one time frame at the same time. Then the trading approach that you're going to use. The trading approach can be conservative, balanced, or aggressive. So you can have a 15-minute conservative, you can have a 1 hour aggressive, and a 4 hour balanced. So there's your 9 options that you have. You have 3 time frames and 3 approaches. Then you'll see there's another one which is custom user configured. So you can ignore the preset settings and you can create your own. So there's total flexibility in this EA. You're your own master, or you can use the presets as guidance, or you can use them to trade the market. Then the next one, also very important, is which currencies do you want to trade? Now, if you're going to trade all the currencies, you're going to get hundreds of alerts depending on the time frame that you're trading. So you need to control currencies that you're going to trade. My best advice in this area is go for the currencies that have the highest volatility at first. So choose maybe the first 4 currencies that have high volatility, and then slowly move into the other currencies. But if you want to test the whole system, use all the currencies that are available, and there are 8 currencies available. As you can see, it's the Euro, Pound, Oz, New Zealand, Yen, USD, and the CAD. Those are the currencies. What I would suggest with this EA is to treat it with respect. First, learn how it works, test it as much as possible, and then decide how you're going to trade it live. Rather than taking profits for granted and assuming profitability, treat this EA with respect and test it on your broker account. Then it says maximum open trades at any one time. You can control your exposure to open trades using that particular setting. So again, you're in control of the situation. You decide what you want to do. You can tell your slave how you want it to go forward. Now we come to the RSI settings, and I always like an RSI of 4. Now you just got to think about the setting. If you have it at 4, you're going to have lots of alerts, because if you're getting lots of alerts, your quality might not be that high. If you set it to 6, you'll have fewer alerts and the quality will get better. If you go to 8, you'll have fewer alerts and the quality will get better. If you go to 10, highly reduced alerts or trades, and your quality will improve. So you've got to find the balance between quality and quantity, and the RSI setting is one of those settings that will give you that. It can be based on any particular method there. It's not really important as long as you're consistent with your method. All right, then the next one is another quality and quantity setting, and that is the difference. How big must the difference between the strongest currency and the weakest currency be? So again, if the difference is small, you'll get lots of trades and the quality might be poor. If the difference is slightly bigger, you'll get fewer trades, but your quality would improve. And if the difference is big, you'll get very few trades, but your quality might be extremely good. It's the elastic band principle. How far must the elastic band stretch before it snaps back? Again, that's something to experiment with, to play around with, and be aware of, is you've got to get the balance between quality and quantity. So there's a setting for that. Then there's the opposite side. When the elastic band snaps back, there will be a difference between the strong currency setting and the weak currency setting. They'll start reversing, and that can actually provide an exit point. So if it comes from the top and it comes from the bottom, how much must they reverse and cross over to give an exit point? So that particular setting, again, is one of those where it's quantity and quality. But that's another concept that you need to think about. The elastic band gets stretched. Let's say using a setting for 50. If the difference is 50, it will enter the trade. And then when the trade stops, it will snap back. And you then need to tell the EA when you want the snapback to close the deal. And you can enable that and disable. If you don't want to exit using the snapback method, you can disable it. Then we've even got one here where you can reverse the direction of the trade. So what we're saying is you've got a strong currency here and you've got a weak currency here. You can say, no, well, I want to buy the strong currency and sell the weak currency. You can do that if you want to. So you're trading the last stretch of the elastic band, and that actually works quite well in scalping, 5-minute charts and things like that. But we do give you that option if you want to use it. Then, as normal, you can determine what kind of position sizing you want, whether you want manual lot sizing or a percentage of your account. I recommend that you use the smallest possible lot that you can at first when you're trading, even when you're trading a demo account. Then the next settings are your initial stop loss. So we give you an opportunity to exit to protect your transaction using a stop loss. You have to tell the system how big you want that stop loss to be, and it also has a take profit level, so you need to tell, and these aren't pips, you need to tell the system when you want to cash your deals in when they've reached a certain amount of pips. So that's so far we've covered 2 exits. The one exit could be that snapback exit. The other exit is the ordinary stop and target exits. Then we have a trailing stop, which is also a conventional exit method. That says basically when the transaction goes profitable, you want to protect those profits by having a trailing stop that follows the transaction. So you can use a trailing stop. That's pretty standard in most EAs. If you want to, you can use the time of day setting. In other words, I only want to enter deals in the UK market. I only want to enter deals in the US market. These settings, the time of day settings, allow you to set those settings. And you can even say, oh, I don't want to trade on Mondays or Tuesdays or Thursday. You disable those days and you can use those. The settings are provided to do that. The next ones are pretty important in that these are the colors that you view on your display part of your EA. Now, I've used a black background here, and that's why these colors work quite well. Your normal charts might be white and you might not like these particular colors that I've got, so you just change all the colors here. Magic numbers don't really matter. The EA controls the magic number situation, in that it's continuously trading different currencies and that type of thing, so it will control that. And it will also control if your broker's got different suffixes. If you have different suffixes or prefixes, you can enter it in there. For instance, some brokers have got an ECN behind, so they've got Euro, USD, ECN behind. So you would just enter that so that the EA knows that your particular broker uses that particular suffix. Because this EA has been written for all brokers that use the MT4 platform. Now, I hope that overview has given you an idea of how much control you have over your slave. You can tell it exactly what you want to do, but you've got to know what you want to do. So you have to review these settings one by one, go through them and say, oh no, I like this, I like that, and go through them and do your settings. You cannot just ignore these settings because they are designed for your success in mind. Not only your success, your convenience. You don't want to have notifications in the middle of the night waking everybody up and that type of thing. So you've got to consider your lifestyle, your objectives, all that type of thing, and that is what this control panel or the input panel of the EA allows you to do. Now, if you do have any questions about this, please use the comment section of the video to ask any further questions. So in the next video, I'm going to give you tips on how to get the best out of this EA. But in this video, I've shown you how to, what commands are possible for you to use to control your slave. But in order for you to get the best out of any EA, you need to know the commands that your slave will respond to, which is what I've gone through in this particular video. And that applies to all EAs. You always need to know the commands that your slave has been programmed with. So for me, Alex Deploy, cheerio, and I'll see you in the next video.